Hi, my name's Ricky and welcome to the channel, Gig in 60 Seconds. Just a quick recap of all the bands that I went to see in 2024 this year. I was fortunate enough to attend 30 gigs. I'll run the gigs down the side of the channel so that you can see which ones I was at. So the 11 artists that I'd never seen before were Elvana, Judas Priest, Chris Barra's band, Billy Talent, Texas, Alice Cooper, Paul Weller, Creeper, Enter Shikari, Sam Fender and Del Amitri. So the first band that I saw this year was Elvana, and that was not until the 9th of March, and that was a good wee gig, you know, a bit of a novelty fun factor in it. They're a cross between Elvis and Nirvana, so they do takes on Nirvana songs with a kind of Elvis element thrown in there, and it was only 30 odd quid to go to and really enjoyed the gig. It was a really fun gig and I'd like to have saw them again next year, or this year now as we're in 2025, but they don't seem to be playing Glasgow. Another one that I hadn't seen before was Judas Priest, and that was a good gig because you had Judas Priest, Saxon and Uriah Heep, so you had good value for your money. Having never seen Judas Priest before and know that it sort of came to light in the 80s, I was a bit worried about what he might sound like, but his voice was pretty good, to be honest. It was better than what I'd expected, and he played all the sort of familiar hits that you would expect and put on a really good show, so that was a good night. Chris Barra's band, I hadn't seen them before on their own. I'd seen them, I think, when they supported, I think it was Gun or Blackstone Cherry a few years ago. That was at the garage. I was going along with my pal Carol, and yeah, I mean, it was a nice enough gig, but I don't know if I like them enough to sort of go back and see them. Billy Talent, that's another one. I was hearing songs on Kerrang Radio throughout the year and just picked up a ticket sort of quite late on, went down to that. Again, it was a good show. I did enjoy it, but would I go back and see them again? Probably not, now that I have seen them. Texas, now this was going to be my first time seeing them. However, the Clyde One event, they played 35 minutes, 40 minutes at that, so it was actually the second time that I had seen them, both being in 2024. This was my first time standing at the Hydro, and we had a really good view actually. It was only about 20 odd yards from the front. Quite a lot of ladies there, so nobody really that tall in the way, so we had a really good spot and the sound was excellent, and they put on a good show. And for £58, it's probably one that I would go back and see, and I would probably go back and stand again because there wasn't any issues. Alice Cooper, that was a bit of an unexpected one. An old friend from school gave me a ticket for that one, kind of last minute, and went along never having seen Alice Cooper before, and I knew sort of some of the songs. I tried to give it a listen a few days beforehand, and yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. The set list was really good and they put on a good show. I liked the way that they came to the front of the camera with the guitarist almost posing for like photographs or footage, and the backdrops were changed during each song, and it was a really good show. Paul Weller, again, that's a new one, obviously of Jam fame. First of all, I only knew maybe about half a dozen songs, but that was a really good gig as well. We played for 2 hours, which is really good value. I think it was about £60 for the ticket. So yeah, another one that I would probably go back and see. After that, another new band was Creeper for me. I'd listened to quite a lot of their music through getting to know them through playing Kerrang Radio again, and ticket came up and it was only about 30 quid to go, and it was at SWG3. I'd only been to that venue once before. That was a really good gig. I brought Carol along with me and she thoroughly enjoyed it as well. I thought the singer was excellent live. His vocal range was brilliant, and played most of the songs that I'd listened to beforehand, apart from Midnight. I would like to have heard that one. Definitely a band I'll want to go back and see. Hopefully they'll play Glasgow this year. Enter Shikari, what can I say about this? This was a band, again, another concert that I bought very last minute. I didn't really have many expectations for it. I drove down, didn't leave the house till 8:15. I got into the bars at 9:45. Blew me away. I came back absolutely buzzing from it. So definitely one that I'll be back to see. Hopefully they play Glasgow again this year. Sam Fender, I do like a bit of guitar music, like Callum Beattie, and Sam Fender's kind of similar. I've been listening to his music throughout the year, and when they announced the show in September, October time, I'd got a ticket for the Monday night, or was it Sunday night? I think it was Monday night. And he said he wasn't feeling too good, and he apologised for his performance, but to be honest, I thought it was really good. Like, he didn't need to apologise, it sounded really good to me. Again, another one I would go back and see. Whether he'll do the Hydro again, I don't know, because I think it might be festivals, or it could be, a Murrayfield or a Hampden Park. I think it could easily sell that out. So I was fortunate we weren't there on the Tuesday night or the second night, because he had called off through illness. So that was a wee shame for those that were trying to go and see him that night. Another new band, Delamitri, Scottish band from the 80s. My cousin had a spare ticket going, messaged me on the morning of it, or the night before. I went along, I just drove to it. I only knew 4 or 5 songs. They were good. Would I see them again? No. But it was a good gig. It was good to hear some songs that I was familiar with. So given all that, the artist that I hadn't seen before that I thought was the best was Enter Shikari. Tribute bands, I didn't go to that many tribute shows over the year. Obviously, in the past I've gone down to Rockprest, which is a 2-day music festival down in Preston, and they have just tribute acts both days. The Saturday's more like a metal day, it's Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, Metallica, etc. And the Sunday's sort of more laid back, maybe Queen and Red Hot Chili Peppers, Killers, etc. So I've not had that since the birth of my daughter. We've not gone down and attended that, so I didn't see that many tribute acts. I think it was just Made in Scotland, Pearl Scam, which is Pearl Jam, and the UK Foo Fighters. UK Foo Fighters was a really good gig. I look forward to seeing them every year. It wasn't as busy this year. I think it was maybe because it was on the 7th of December, and quite often they come in October. They play for about 2 hours and you really get your money's worth. But in saying that, the best tribute band, I've got to give it to my boys at Made in Scotland. I just did a review of them a few days ago. Like, Made in Scotland are just superb. The guys, musically, they can play the guitar and the drums, brilliantly in my mind. And Martin on vocals, just a superb vocalist. Like, go and check them out. Honestly, look forward to seeing these guys every time they announce a show. Hopefully I'll get to see them once, maybe twice this year. So now I've got to come to give my top 5 bands of 2024, and as I say, I've got 30 different ones to choose from. So coming in at number 5, I'm going to say Sam Fender. It was a privilege to see this guy perform. It was a really good show. I was there with my fiancée. We both really enjoyed it. We had an excellent view, right kind of in the middle, up in the first level of seating. I've got a video on the channel for some of his songs in there. I really enjoyed that. Would definitely go back and see him if he came to play again. Coming in at 4, I'd say Creeper. First time having seen them, blown away by how good they sounded live. It was a good venue at the SWG3. It was a long, big hall, and the crowd was really into it. And yeah, definitely one that I want to go back and see again. Third for me is Slash. Now, that was the 6th time for me seeing Slash. I thought I'd seen him more than that, but I hadn't actually seen him since 2015. 3 of the occasions that I have seen him has been at Download Festival. So that was a really good gig. Played for just shy of 2 hours. There was about 21 songs, and Miles is in fine form, and Slash had a good solo during Anastasia, I think it was, at the end of it. Really good gig. Hopefully it's not another 9 years before I wait to see him. Coming in at number 2 is Pink. That's the third time that I've seen Pink. The last time was in 2013 down at the O2 in London, and prior to that 2010 at Hampden. She put on a really good show. I went along with my fiance. It was the most expensive ticket that I've ever bought. It was £166 each, and that was for Golden Circle standing tickets. So it was an obscene amount of money. Was it worth it? Is £166 to see anybody worth it? I don't know, but we were really close. Like, if you look at some of my videos from it, we were maybe only 20-25 yards away from her. And when she was on the trapeze thing up above, she was right above us at some point. So that was a really good gig. Good choice of songs, kind of all the best hits. And the only thing maybe topping it from being the best gig is the fact that she obviously lip synced to the songs that she was whizzing about on, and yeah, that's just stopping her getting the top billing. So my number 1 gig of the year, drum roll, Enter Shikari. This was an unexpected, pleasant surprise. As I say, bought a ticket about 4 or 5 weeks just before going to see them. Had never seen them before, never listened to them live, didn't know that many songs. The songs that I did know, I knew that they weren't going to be on the set list, having looked at the set list from the few nights before. I just thought the sound was excellent. I wasn't sure how they were going to pull it off musically with all the sort of keyboard elements and how the singer sounded live, and yeah, they just blew me away. Like, the atmosphere at the gig was brilliant. It was not the busiest I've seen the bars. It said sold out, but I had a stage, I had a view up near the bar at one of the pillars, so I wasn't in anybody's view. There was nobody actually behind me anyway, and I filmed some of it because I hadn't seen them before, and the amount of people going over the top, crowd surfing, was unbelievable. And just thoroughly enjoyed the gig. Came back from it absolutely buzzing, on a high to my fiance. I was saying, "Oh, what a gig! Oh, brilliant! Blew me away. Definitely want to go and see them again." So, yep, that is my number 1 gig of 2024 that I attended. Enter Shikari. Let me know in the comments what gig you thought was your best that you saw in 2024. Obviously, you might have gone and seen people that I haven't. I know there was a lot of people commenting about how good Slipknot were, but for me, I probably would have preferred if it had been like not a greatest hits, but songs from all the albums. I was slightly disappointed it was just the first album and they didn't do 4 or 5 from another album. But yeah, let me know, highs and lows for you, any bands that you've seen for the first time who really surprised you, who you were blown away by, who was disappointing. But anyway, have a good day, and until next time, see you later.